going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, to another video. Today I'm going to tackle my little winter project, which involves the 996 Brembo calipers. I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to rebuild these and service these calipers. At the same time, I'm going to also refinish them for a brand new look and appearance. So let's not waste any time and let me dismount this real quick. Actually does not look that bad. After 6+ years of track abuse, different temps, I mean the finish, for what it's worth, it's still pretty decent. This was the G2 finish, the paint G2 that I used about 6 years ago, and it holds up pretty good. I mean, there's no, like, it doesn't chip nowhere. It's aside from where I maybe scratched it or put a dent into it when I was changing wheels, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Actually, the seals on this side look all right. I know on the other side, the seal, I mean the dust boot has cracked, so that's why that was the main reason I wanted to replace it. Plus these have about, I would say, close to 100 track days, so the seals have been through a lot, so they need to be refreshed. But before I do so, let's clean this up. I'm gonna use this unconventional cleaning method, if you may. Simple green and some boiling water. I'm gonna dilute it close to like half and half, and I'm gonna submerge it and leave it in the solution until I dismount the other side. And you're gonna be surprised what simple green does, especially when you submerge it in hot water. Oh, never mind, this one is cracked too. See, there's the crack. So here we have the both sides somewhat cleaned up with the simple green stuff. Cleaned up very well. My original plan was to basically just scuff them up and refinish them all over this this finish, but I changed my mind a little bit, so I'm actually going to take it to have this sandblasted. So we'll apply a brand new fresh finish, if you may. That way there's nothing underneath. It's going to be stripped down to a bare caliper. But I'm really impressed with this old finish, though. I mean, as I mentioned, 6+ years, and the finish is holding up pretty darn good. It's very durable, this G2 paint system, I must say. And so I guess you know what I'm going to be using to refinish these again, because as you see, these over the course of last 6 years, they held up pretty well. It's probably similar to a powder coated finish in terms of durability. I mean, aside from the edges, the nicks from bumping wheels or brake packs into them, there's no peeling or anywhere on the finish, and the color still looks pretty good after so many years. So yeah, let me run to the sandblasting shop and have them sandblasted. We'll have them in its prime form in about 1, 2, 3. Just like that, nice and clean, sandblasted. All the old paint is off. Now I'm gonna take out the pistons. So we're gonna take out the pistons and take out the seals there. That way I don't have to mess with them when it's all painted, because I'll just have to install new ones, which is fairly easy. I don't have to mess with there's probably some brake fluid inside, so I don't want it to damage the new paint finish. So I'll do it now, clean it up, and we should be good for paint. I have this caliper here, and and I need to take out the pistons and take out the seals. That way I don't have to worry about it after it's painted. Everything will be disassembled, and then all we'll do after it's painted is just pop the new seals right in, and that way I won't have to worry about the finish being destroyed by the brake fluid. So what you need to do is, I already removed the bridge here, so I need to do each side separately because there's no connection anymore. What you do is, a piece of wood, something like this, stick it on one side, something like this. Maybe one is not enough, if two is fine. And you'll need compressed air or a pump, and you give a shot of air and it should pop right out. Only one is coming out. There it is. Now I have both pistons out, and there we have it. Got the pistons on this side out as well. I have to plug this side since there was I blew it from here, and the air will escape this way, so I have to plug this side so the air will directly come out and push the pistons out. But anyhow, so here we are. Now we just need to get the seals out. I don't know if you guys could see this, but the seals are right there. All you do is take a little pick, and they should come out just like that. See? And they're out. They are right there. There we have it. That's how you take these seals out. We should be good. I'm just gonna spray it with the brake cleaner. Make sure everything is clean inside and out. Blow it out with air, and it's gonna be ready for paint. We have the caliper nicely disassembled. The next step is to mask off the caliper piston holes so the paint doesn't get inside, and for that I'm gonna reuse actually the old dust boots and some tape. Next, I'm gonna need the caliper pins that hold the calipers. As you see, this one on my right is nice and clean, and this is kind of dirty. I have a nice trick for this. All you need is a sandpaper. This is, I think, 60 grit, and you'll need a drill. Basically, you just stick it in there like that, and just move away so I don't put any dust on the calipers. And what you do is take your sandpaper, stick it in, and run it for several revolutions. And there it is. Looks like brand new. Now the reason I need these is because I'm gonna be hanging the calipers for paint, so I need a good hanging point, and this will enable me to hang these very easily and block off the holes from paint being painted. And if they do get paint on them, I could just clean them off. So, but I'm gonna also tape them as well. That way they're gonna be somewhat masked off, and this way they won't fall out. And what I could do is I could just hang them like this. This way I could easily paint them and have full access to the underside, sides, whichever way I need to spray them with. We are finally ready to begin the painting process. Remember, the prep work is always takes the longest out of the painting. The painting itself is usually the quickest part of the process. So everything is masked off, ready for painting. Now for paint, I'm gonna use the G2 paint system like I had on the original finish. As you saw, it's very durable. I think this is one of the best solutions aside from powder coating for your calipers. I mean, this stuff is rated up to 900, I think 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you saw before I stripped the calipers after 5 years of use, there was no cracking or peeling of any sort of paint. So I'm very happy with it. I have good experience with this system for a while now. I did use this system on my other car as well, and it's holding up pretty well. So I think this is the next best thing to powder coating, and it's very cost efficient. So you get the standard can, you get the activator. Now they originally tell you to apply the paint with a brush, but I found a little better solution in that, and this is using this Preval sprayer. It's a nice compact sprayer system like this. All you do is put the paint content in the jar, and now you have a little atomizer on top, and it has the right orifice to spray this paint, because remember, this paint is very thick. So I think if you're spraying this with a regular air gun, I think you need a primer tip or like a 2mm tip, I believe. But I found that this sprayer works perfectly with this paint system, and it applies the paint nicely and evenly. The combination between the two is the best bang for the buck. To speed up the adhesion process, I'm gonna place the calipers into my little oven over there, heat them up to about 200 degrees for about 15 minutes. That way they're nice and warm. Calipers are getting nicely warmed up, and at the same time any of the oils or residue is burning off. So I'm gonna wait for about 15 minutes until they're nice and warm, and in the meantime I'm gonna mix the paint. And remember, when you're spraying stuff like this, always have a respirator, and cover all your things in the garage that you don't want painted, because there's gonna be paint flying all over the place. So you don't want your paint all over your car or anything else that you don't want it painted. And nicely stir up the paint. Now there's about 3.5 ounces of this paint here. Since I'm only doing the front calipers now, I'm gonna use about half, and use half of this activator. So we have a nice gauge here. Let's give it a try. Alright, let's use the activator. And you have about, I think, 4 hours before this stuff becomes rock hard, so no rush. The cap on. Calipers are nice and hot, nicely hanging. That way I have access on all the sides. So let's spray the first coat lightly and move on from there. put it at about 8 minutes and about 200 degrees. You don't want to put the temperature too high or the time too long, because otherwise the will get too hot and the paint will darken and it won't be as bright. So you just want just enough, and that will help with the little bit. See, you have the orange peel a little bit. The temperature will help even that out, since this is a self-leveling paint. It will be nice and smooth once it comes out. All done, nice and baked. Let's put the other one in real quick. All right, nice and dry. Now it's the fun part. We're gonna throw some decals on it. Got some Brembo decals, and I have been debating between these two, which one I should stick on. This is about 3.5 inches long, which I think is a bit big for this application. So I'm leaning towards this one, the smaller one, 3.25. I think it just looks just right. Let me just stick it on and throw a nice coat of clear on top of it. This way it will last a bit longer. All baked up and finished up. These came out awesome in my opinion, just the way I expected. The color is nice and bright. The decals contrast nicely. Can't go wrong with this G2 paint finish. As I mentioned plenty times throughout this video already, this is a very durable coating and it's fairly inexpensive, around 50 bucks, and it lasts several years. One tip I'll give you: if you're spraying this with the pre-valve sprayer and it's cold in your environment, you want to heat up the bottle with some heat gun. That will give you a better spray pattern throughout the whole spraying process. But the coverage is nice. I don't know if you could see on the camera, it turned out really nicely. We could assemble these, put the new seals inside, new dust boots, and we could finally install them. I already took off the masking tape I had on the piston holes. I'm gonna be using the StopTech dust boots and seals. I used them before and I had no troubles with them, so I'm just sticking with them. They're fairly inexpensive. They're probably around, like, for the whole kit I paid something around 60 bucks from Ohio Performance. Can't wait to get these on the car and enjoy the new refinished look. Reassemble these is probably one of the easiest jobs of this whole rebuild. Take your seals here, and key here is lubrication. You want to either lubricate it with brake fluid or some oil, and just want to place them in the groove in the cylinder chamber. Just stick it in the groove and guide it all around. There it is. Make sure it's seated. If it is, then you want to take your piston, lubricate it as well. That way you could nicely guide it inside. You want to turn it, and there it is. See? It went in quite nicely. You want to take your dust boot You know, slip it over the ledge. It's fairly easy. Push them in. One note is the caliper mold on these is not that even, so like when you put these dust boots on, they might seem like they're not seated because they're stick out on some places more than others, but that's totally normal because like I mentioned, the caliper mold is not even all around. So make sure you don't try to press them with anything sharp. By hand is the most sufficient way without damaging the boot. And there it is, all finished up, nice rebuilt, refinished. And to protect that our finish, I'm gonna apply some ceramic coating, the Armor Shield 9 by Avalon King. This is a very popular coating these days. Actually, I just ordered them. I haven't used it, so this is gonna be my first application using it on this caliper. So this should repel brake dust better after it's coated with the ceramic coating, and looking cleaner longer. So let me apply this real quick and be ready to install it on the car. There we have it. That's exactly how easy it is to rebuild these calipers. We have a brand new refinished caliper. It's coated in the ceramic coating. Hopefully that will help keep the caliper cleaner and repel some of the brake dust and dirt coming from the wheels. Check out the water, how it beads up and basically just flows right off the caliper. So that should help it keep it cleaner for a longer time. Also did the brand new brake discs as well. So if you guys enjoy this content, don't forget to hit a like, consider subscribing to the channel, as we have some major changes coming your way very soon. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.